My Durham and Raleigh friends, we are having our Say What meetup this Saturday. It is happening this Saturday, August 2nd at 2 p.m. at the Durham Food Hall. Me and my friend Jess from Pain Free Intimacy are coming together, having a meetup for our communities. It's going to be so fun, so casual. Husbands are invited. We're just going to hang out, get to know each other, talk, spend some time together, spend time encouraging each other. It really is just going to be a very fun, casual hangout together. So we would love to see you there. Send me a DM if you're coming. It is at the Durham Food Hall on August 2nd. I can't wait to see you there. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Say What podcast. My name is Hannah, and on this podcast, we talk about purity culture, sex, marriage, relationships, girly things, all the fun things here at the podcast, and I'm so glad you're with us. Hello, friends. I am so happy to finally be recording this podcast with you. Man, it has been a long few months, but if you saw the title, of course you did. I'm pregnant, and I'm having twins. This is the craziest thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life. I've had a pretty crazy life. A lot of things have happened to me, but the simple fact that I am having twins, like two babies are inside of me right now, is so crazy. And I'm so happy to finally share that with you. If you're watching on YouTube, I have the little ultrasound. Unfortunately, this ultrasound is from when I found out at the very beginning. And so they are just like two very tiny little babies. I'm a lot farther along now, but I left my other ultrasounds in Georgia, so I don't have the more pictures to show you, but I am pregnant with twins, and we have a lot to catch up on. I feel like every week I'm like, what's a life update besides I've been dying? Don't have one. So I'm so happy to just finally share everything with you and not have to hide my bump anymore, because I have a bump. Like, I am 11 weeks today, and you would think that I am 15 weeks. The bump is bumping. It is there. It is big. You get bigger with the more pregnancies you have. This is now my third pregnancy. You get bigger and show sooner. And let me tell you, I'm not only getting bigger and showing sooner, I'm having two of them. So yeah, it's getting big. But let's just back up to tell you everything from the beginning, because a couple months ago I recorded a podcast saying I had a miscarriage. So I had a miscarriage in April, and almost 4 weeks, is like 3 weeks and a couple days after my miscarriage, my period came back. And I was so grateful. I was like, okay, good. My body is working the way it's supposed to. Like, I don't have to worry about that. Everything is normal and good. And, my period is good. So now I can track things, because I knew that we wanted to still try immediately as soon as we could for our next baby. I felt like I had grieved from the miscarriage. I felt like I still do grieve from the miscarriage. I think about that baby all the time. So I felt like we were just ready for that next, chapter in our lives. And it took us 7 months to get pregnant with our second baby. And so I didn't know how long it was going to take us to get pregnant with the next one. And so we just wanted to go ahead and jump and get into it. My son Tate will be 3 in December. And so I didn't want their age gap to be too far. So we were just ready to try again. We were like, let's just do it. Let's go ahead. I feel like I'm ready. And, when the Lord wants us to have another baby, He will. And that's really the mindset that we had going into it. So we started trying again, and we got pregnant on the first try, which is so crazy. It's so crazy. I ovulated late that month, which I was really stressing out about, because I was tracking my ovulation. Also, my body tells me when it's ovulating. It is so clear when it's ovulating. I have a lot of pain. I have a lot of discharge. It is hello, you are ovulating. It's really extreme. And it just kept not happening. And so I was like, man, am I just not going to ovulate this month? What's going on? Thankfully, I ended up ovulating, but it was just later than normal. And what we have been doing to try to get pregnant, which is what worked, how we got pregnant the last time and how we got pregnant this time, is we did not have sex until I had a positive sign on ovulation test. So we waited. I think we were just having sex too much when we were trying. I know that you can only get pregnant with a certain window, but the sperm apparently needs time to regenerate, apparently. I don't really know all the science, but it needs some time. And so my friend who went to some fertility treatments shared that with me. She was like, we only had sex on day 11, 12, and 13, which was her ovulation window. And so I was like, okay, we'll try that. And the last time we tried it, I got pregnant that month. And this time we tried it. I think we only had sex 3 or 4 days. And we started when I had the ovulation time. And then I got pregnant. So It was really bizarre. I was home with my family for my dad's birthday. So we surprised my dad for his 60th birthday. And I knew that my period was still a week out at that point. But I was like, might as well take a test and see, if I'm pregnant, then I'll get to share with everybody here. And that will be so fun. And so I took a test and it was negative. And I was like, no, like I was so hurt. I was so hurt. So I was so sad. So then fast forward to Tuesday. So I took a test on a Saturday. Fast forward to Tuesday. I was out running some errands and I drove past a Chili's. And with my last pregnancy, all I ate was Chili's. Like, I think I had Chili's seriously 2 or 3 times a week. That's all I wanted. And I drove past Chili's and I was like, Chili's would be good. And I was like, wait, why am I craving Chili's? Like, that's kind of crazy. And I was like, well, maybe I should just take a test. Like, what's it going to hurt? So I come home, I pee, I take a test, and I set my phone up to record, and I guess I accidentally double tapped the recording, so I don't have a video of me finding out immediately, which is sad, but I, turned it over, and it was positive, and it wasn't even, like, super strong positive. Like, with what I've heard from other twin moms, because I have been on twin TikTok, let me tell you, what I have learned from other twin moms is that they found out, like, so early, the lines were super dark, because you have double the hormones, which we'll talk about. But I didn't have like a very strong 2 lines. I just was like, oh, this is positive. And so I couldn't wait for Thomas to get home. He was going to be home in like an hour. So I ended up actually FaceTiming him because I was just going to tell him immediately because I just like could not wait. So I call him. He doesn't answer, thankfully. So he comes home and I act like we're going to do like a TikTok together. And so I start recording and like saying something. And then I was like, actually, I can't do this. I'm pregnant. And so I was going to try and tell him like a funny way, but I was just too excited. So I told him, I told Tate. So I found out when I was like 3.5 weeks, I would say, almost 4 weeks. So I didn't miss my period yet. I found on a Tuesday, my period was supposed to come Saturday. And I, was just so excited, overjoyed. The symptoms started coming in at about week 5.5, around 6, I would say, which for me was late. So with other pregnancies, I found out really early and I started having symptoms really early. So I was like, man, this is like kind of bizarre. And I was having a lot of anxiety. Let me tell you, the anxiety was so real. But I was like, it's okay. It's going to be fine. And so we started telling like our close friends, which was so fun. And then we go for my 8-week appointment. And on the calendar, it says that I am 8 weeks on the dot. So I decided to go to a different office than where I went for my miscarriage because even though they were so great to me, they were so kind, so loving, I just like did not want to go back to the ultrasound room that I found out that I had a miscarriage in. So went to another office. And the lady is like doing my ultrasound and I'm like, literally going to throw up because I'm so nervous. Because that's how I found out last time was during an ultrasound. So I was like freaking out and she immediately like saw a baby and I like took a deep breath and she's going over my stomach and I was like, and she was like, there's a heart, or she was going over my stomach and she was like, I could see, because I can see the pictures, or I can see what's going on. And I see 2 things, but does not clock in my mind that those are 2 babies. So she's going over my stomach and she goes, there are 2 babies and they have heartbeats. And I was like, what? You're joking. You're joking. Like I could not believe it. I don't know when you're listening to this, but I will post on Instagram a video announcing, and in the video you can listen to this audio. But I was like, you're joking. You're joking. And she goes, nope. And she like showed me like clear as day, 2 babies. Clear as day, 2 babies. And of course my anxiety is like, oh, this was from the miscarriage. There's a problem. And so I was like, well, I just had a miscarriage, but I had a D&C and they said everything was fine. And she's like, no. Like these are normal. They look perfectly healthy and they're identical. I was like, they're identical? What? I was shocked. I was so shocked. So I know you're like, well, do you have twins in your family? And the answer is yes. So Thomas's side of the family has twins. It's not like his immediate family. It's a little bit removed, but there are like 3 or 4 sets of twins on his side of the family, from his grandma and grandpa on his mom's side. So his grandma and grandpa on his mom's side, both of them have twins in their family. I was actually looking through, they have this like book that shares like their family history, and it's like twins. Like it is pretty There is a lot in that side of the family. So we always knew that this was a possibility. We always knew that we could have twins because they run the family. But when it didn't happen with Tate, I just like didn't think anything of it. Because I remember being pregnant and at the ultrasound with Tate, and I was like, there's only one baby, right? Like there's twins in our family. And they're like, yep, one baby. And I was like, whew. And then after that, it's like the idea of twins left my mind. Like I never thought about it again. Me and Thomas never talked about it again. It just like completely erased from my brain that twins could be a possibility. Like I truly did not think anything of it at all. I was like, we're not going to have twins. Like that's not even a possibility. With the last pregnancy, I didn't think about it. This pregnancy, didn't think about it. So I was shocked. And they're identical. So this is what I learned about identical twins. I did not know anything about twins before, but I learned a lot. So you can have identical and fraternal twins, but there are different types of identical and fraternal. There is mono, which means both babies are in the same sac and they share one placenta. There's mono-di, which means they are in their own sacs. So like they are in their own little bag, like which is good, which is what you want, and then they share a placenta. Means they're identical. So if there's one placenta, they're identical. If there's two placentas, they're fraternal. And then there's fraternal twins who have they're each their own sac and own placenta. So fraternal twins is a lot more common, and fraternal twins really are just like two babies in your belly at the same time. That's it. Their DNA is different. Their personalities are different. They look different. It's like you have two pregnancies happening at once. Identical twins they are completely identical with their DNA. The only thing different about them is their brains. And the way that that happens is like has to do with the time of when your eggs split. I'm not going to get into all that, but basically, they are completely identical. They share the same placenta. The only thing that's different is their brain, which means they will either be two girls or two boys. So you cannot have identical boy-girl twins because their DNA would be different. So boy-girl twins is only with fraternal twins, which when you really think about it, it makes sense. But that's not something I thought about before. I had no idea. I never spent a lot of time thinking about twins. It was not part of my life. So I'm having identical twins, which is so exciting. And they, at first, during my very first ultrasound, the tech told me that they were mono is what she thought they were, which was that they were in the same sac. And so I was like kind of freaking out, And they basically after the ultrasound, they send me to this waiting area, and they're like, okay, like you're having twins. We want to, we're gonna let you see a different doctor right now because you were just going to see like a nurse and this other doctor, but like we want you to see this specific doctor. So we're going to wait for time to open up in her schedule. So why don't we just like sit here? We can do some lab work. We also have to do some intake for you. So like we can get that done, but we're just going to sit. And we waited for like an hour. I think we were at the doctor's office for like 2.5, maybe 3 hours. Like we waited for an hour. And during that hour, my mind is just like spinning. I'm like, oh my gosh, like we're having two babies at one time. Growing up, I always said I wanted twins. If you asked me, I would tell you I wanted twins. Like this is something I've wanted my whole life. Then I get pregnant with Tate and go through, pregnancy and having a newborn baby at home. And I'm like, I can't do it. I don't want twins. No. And that dream went out the window. But apparently the Lord, always remembers your dreams from any age, and he will give them to you. So during that hour, I'm just like, I'm having twins. And like, I didn't want to call anybody. I didn't want to tell anybody yet because I didn't know for sure if they were mono. We didn't know anything. We didn't have a due date. Like I didn't know anything. Like I just knew that they were twins. We did find out that they were measuring 6.5 weeks versus the 8 weeks that I thought I was, and the timing of it all was like 8 days behind or something like that. And she said that is typical with twins, but I also could have just ovulated later. And so I may not be, at the right time with my period or something because I could have ovulated late, which would have made everything go later. So, but they're not worried about it. They said everything was fine. So I've like known that I'm pregnant for longer than 11 or for, you find out when you're like 4 weeks pregnant. Anyways, before I was tracking, I should have been like 2 weeks ahead, but now I'm, at the 11 weeks now. But So I was just like, okay, we don't really know anything. We're just going to wait. And then eventually we see the doctor and we find out from her that she sent all of my information. They sent all of my information to a high risk doctor because they wanted to look at the ultrasound because they weren't sure if it was mono or mono di. They thought it was mono di, which means that they are in their own sacs, that's what you want. You want them to be in their own sacs. It's less high risk. They, are by themselves in their own sac, not sharing a sac. So if they share a sac, there's a lot of risks for the babies to get tangled and just other things that we're not going to talk about. So there's a lot of risk with that. Thankfully, mine are not mono di, but we had to wait 2 weeks before I could go to the high risk doctor again. And so we were waiting that 2 weeks to find out if they were mono di or mono. But the doctor was like 95% sure that they were mono di. Like she was pretty convinced they were mono di. So I was going with that, but she was like, yeah, we're going to transfer you to a high risk doctor, but like, you're going to be okay. We see twins, it happens. It's rare, but you're good. There's also a cyst that we see, or not a cyst. Yeah, I think it was a cyst. No, it wasn't a cyst. I don't remember what it was. Like there's some spot that they see that they're not like 100% sure if it's a third pregnancy. And I was like, no, there ain't no way. There ain't no way. It ended up just being a cyst, which apparently is very common. It's probably been there my whole life. And it's like not a big deal, and it's not gonna get in the way of the babies growing or anything, praise God. But, for about 2 weeks there, we were waiting to find out for sure if they were mono di and what this like cyst was. But they were really not concerned about this cyst. They're like, it is very rare for it to be a third pregnancy, but we do not think that's what it is. Like we do think that this is just a benign cyst and like nothing to worry about. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm not thinking about it. So for the next 2 weeks, we've gone through a lot of emotions. Before I was 100% knew that they are in their own sacs, I was, praying nonstop about that. We pretty much told people immediately because I needed prayer. I was like, we are having twins. We need prayer. And at our church, there are an abundance of twins. That we just have this twin anointing at our church. On staff, there's at least 3 different families that have twins. One family has the same kind of twins that I have, which is the mono di. And they're like 5-year-old girls who are living their best lives. And so and another family that I'm pretty close with, they have fraternal twins and theirs are now 1.5 years old. So she just went through it. So there are an abundance of twins at our church. And so I knew like, okay, I've got people I can talk to, like it's going to be okay. We just needed to start telling people because I really wanted prayer. I was so nervous about like growing 2 babies inside my body and also just everything with the miscarriage. I was like, we need prayer. So we started telling people pretty early because we wanted prayer. So a lot of people know that I am pregnant and having twins because I wanted people to pray for us. Everything that happened with the miscarriage, we need prayer. We've got 2 babies growing in my body right now. We need prayer. And so we told Tate and he was so excited. So we pretty much during that 2 weeks, we're just like praying that like spot was nothing. And that is also when my sickness started. So I have been on death's door. Let me just say what that next 2 week appointment is. So my next appointment, we got to see the babies again. They were so much bigger than they were at my first appointment, like so much bigger. At this point, I have not seen them since that last appointment, but I will very soon, and I'm very excited. But they were so much bigger than they were. Their heartbeats were strong. They were just moving and grooving, living their best life. They're 100% in their own sacs. Like it was very obvious. We could see like 1 sac here and 1 sac there. So they are for sure mono di. We got to hear their heartbeats. I got all of my care now transferred over to the high risk doctor. So I will be at the high risk doctor. And I didn't have like a full on appointment the last time. We just like looked at the babies and had a quick like consult. I'll have like a full appointment coming up soon. But the doctor kind of went over everything that my life is about to look like. And that what my life is about to look like is going to the doctor. I'm going to live at the doctor, which honestly is a peace of mind thing for me right now because I've gone at this point, it'll be like 5 weeks, I think, without seeing the babies. And that feels like so long because with twins, there's so many risks that can happen. And you would not personally know that the risks that what's happening is happening to you because you wouldn't feel it. And so it's just very like anxiety inducing. During that appointment, she was telling me that they have to tell me this stuff, the 3 like big complications that could happen with twins. And as she's talking, I'm just like listening, but I'm not receiving it. You know what I mean? Like I really feel in my soul, like they're going to be okay. The twins are going to be okay. I have so much peace about it. Like at the end of the day, I have peace that everything is going to be okay. I go through a lot of ups and downs with emotions about having twins. But at the end of the day, like I have peace that I'm going to be okay. But as far as symptoms go, let's see. I have been throwing up. I haven't thrown up in a couple weeks now at this point, praise God. But I am nauseous. I was nauseous 24/7 for probably a month and a half. I just now got the nausea to be a little bit better, and it's at nighttime. So I'm nauseous right now talking about it. And I can't really talk about oh man, I can't really talk about it because it does make me want to be nauseous, or it does make me sick. But I've been nauseous from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed and while I'm sleeping for months. But lately it's just like 5 p.m. 5 p.m. hits and I have the 5 p.m. scaries. I'm terrified of what the evening's going to be. I feel horrible. I'm so sick. I have been eating the worst food known to man. Like, I can't eat anything healthy to save my life. I tried to eat some green beans last night and that didn't work. The only time I ate something really healthy, honestly, was when we were in the hospital and we had been eating such crap food. And I asked one of our pastors when she was coming by, I was like, can you please bring alpaca, which is this like Peruvian chicken place, and it's like a rotisserie chicken. So she brought some rotisserie chicken and their green beans and their rice, and theirs is so good. And I was able to eat that, and that helped my constipation. Praise God. But that's like the last healthy thing I ate. I mean, I am eating so poorly, but it's because it's all I can keep down. Like, I would eat something, throw it up, eat something, throw it up, eat something, throw it up, or eat something and feel horrible. And I, at the same time, am nauseous, but I don't want to eat anything. But all I'm thinking about is food all the time, but I don't want to eat anything because I feel so sick. So it's just like this cycle. I really have not had too bad of constipation. I get constipation here and there, but it really has not been that bad. Praise God. Today's podcast is sponsored by Pixie Cup. If you've been around for any amount of time, you know that I love Pixie Cup. I started using a menstrual cup about 5 years ago, and once I started using a cup, my cramps got significantly better. I saved a ton of money because I wasn't buying tampons all the time. I felt like I was doing better for the earth by not just like buying tampons and throwing away the boxes and all of that. And I was using a cup that was with a company that actually gives back. So every time you buy a cup, they give one to somebody in need. And I just seriously love that so much. Pixie Cup's support team is also super great. Anytime I've had any problems with my cup or had any questions, they have been there to help out and really help troubleshoot. It can take some time to like figure out how to use a cup, and they have been so great to be able to help me with that. I also have experienced no leaking, which was a worry of mine. I was like, am I just gonna like leak all day? Like, how's it gonna get in there? I don't know how it works, but it is magic, and it truly has saved my life. I have the same cup that I've used now for like 2 years. After I had my baby, I ended up going into a bigger size, but the quality of the cup has not diminished at all. It is seriously so good. And they also have more than just period cups. They have discs, they have products that you can use to like clean your cups and discs with. They have pads, they have applicators, they have steamers, they have cleaners, and more. I seriously love Pixie so much. I'm really excited to try their pads because they seem really soft, which I love a soft pad. But seriously, you can't go wrong with using a Pixie product. I have loved them for so many years now, and I will continue to love and use them until I don't have a period anymore. Seriously. They are just the best company and the best people, and I'm so grateful that they sponsored today's episode. So you can use code SAYWHAT to get 15% off your purchase. So I love a discount. I'm always trying to get you guys a discount. I love a discount so much. So you can use SAYWHAT and get 15% off your purchase at Pixie Cup, and that will be linked in the episode notes. Thank you so much for sponsoring today's episode. Pixie, I love you with all of my heart. I've really just been like feeling like I'm on death's door with the nausea. Like, it really has been unbearable. I have not been able to do anything. I've been laying on the couch. I haven't been posting. I have been on death's door is how it felt like. But I'm coming out of that now, which does make me sometimes a little bit anxious because I'm like, I'm only 11 weeks. Like, twins, shouldn't you feel worse? But I'm just taking it from the Lord that it's okay. So with twins, you do have double the hormones. So that's a real thing. Like, you have 2 full babies in you that are giving you double the hormones. So that's why the nausea was so intense. It still is so intense. I'm taking medication. It's not touching it. Like, it is not working. I need to try a different med. My doctor said I could try another medicine. So I'm probably going to do that because what I'm taking now doesn't even touch it. That has been my symptoms. I've been craving sweets like my life depends on it. With Tate, I wanted salty. I wanted Taco Bell every day. I wanted spicy. I wanted sour candy. With Tate, or with this pregnancy, with my last pregnancy, I was craving more of like the same kind of foods with Tate, but not as much. I didn't really have strong cravings at that point. with these babies, oh my gosh, I'm eating grapes, I'm eating pineapple, I'm eating strawberries, I'm eating kiwi, I'm eating ice cream, I need a popsicle, I need sweets. Which that makes me think they're girls. I don't know. I did do the genetic testing, so I'm currently waiting to find out what they are. Hopefully I'll get the results soon. I am dying. They said 7 to 10 days, and I'm like, hurry it up. We did decide that since it's our last pregnancy, Caroline is going to find out for us what we're having, and she's going to put together a little box, and me and Thomas are opening it on our own. You guys are not going to get to see us open and find out together, you know? Maybe I'll post the video if it's a positive, not a positive response. Here's the thing. I think they're girls. I really want girls. They are giving me girl energy. I'm having identical twins. Like, that just feels like girls. You know what I mean? And I have Tate. This pregnancy has felt different so far, so I'm really feeling like they're girls. And as soon as we found out they were girls at the or at the doctor, I immediately was like, oh, these are their names. Like, we have their names. We don't have baby B's middle name because they call them like A and B. We know baby's A's full name. I've had baby A's name for my whole life. This name, which is making me kind of mad because it's kind of rising in popularity right now. I need you all to stop it, okay? I've had this name since, like, I was probably 18 or 19. Truly, I've had this name picked out. Thomas loves it. I put it on our vision board. That's her name. But then I had another name that I really liked that sometimes I was waffling between, like, should it be this one? Should it be this one? And they sound perfect together. Like, it could not be more like simpatico. Like, they go together so perfectly. They sound perfect. Like, they had the same vibe, and it just is beautiful. And so as soon as, like, we were sitting for an hour waiting, I was like, oh my gosh, if it's girls, like, this is their names. And Thomas was like, oh yeah, that's it. Like, we didn't even consider anything else. We were like, yeah, that's their names. Like, that's perfect. And so we're still trying to get a middle name for baby B because I didn't have a middle name yet. And we kind of have, like, an idea for it, but I'm still trying to figure out the spelling because I want to spell it in a way that when you pronounce it, it makes sense. But that is not, like, hard to spell. So it's not a very common name. It is rising a little bit more, but I'm obsessed with it. So both names are not, like, very common, but they're in the top, like, 200 of the baby names. So I think they actually might be in the top 100. They're not very common, but they are, they're not crazy. So, like, you will have heard the names, especially baby A's name. Her name is rising. So if they're boys, they're going to be Tate number 2 and Tate number 3. Like, they don't have names. Thomas has 2 names that he really likes if they're boys. I'm on the fence about them. I've just been, like, picturing myself holding a baby, being like, is this the baby's name? And we had one name for a boy that I really felt like was going to be the baby's name. But then when I'm pregnant with these, every boy name just doesn't feel right, which also makes me feel like they're girls because every boy name that comes up, I'm like, that's not his name. Like, that's not their names. And I don't know. I didn't like any other name besides Tate, so I don't really know what we'll do with them if they're boys. But I will be excited. Like, I genuinely just want, like, these babies to be okay. So if they're girls, I'll be like, yes, over the moon, excited. If they're boys, I'll be like, okay, we can do this. I'm so excited. I get to have 3 boys. That's going to be so fun. I probably will have a little bit of gender disappointment. I'm not going to lie to you, but it's not going to be, like, extreme. But I will take a video and probably share that with you guys. But I'm not one to do, like, public gender reveals. That is just, like, not my thing. I want that to be a private thing. So we are going to do that. I told Caroline that she could do that if she gets me the box within, like, a couple hours. Like, I can't sit around and wait. And I need to know the genetic results immediately. So I do feel like everything's going to be okay. I have peace. But we don't know what the gender is yet. But I'm very, 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 very excited to find out. I do think they're girls. Their heart rates were also higher, which I know that doesn't tell you anything, but it does, old wives' tales would say that means that they're girls. But we will see. They're just giving me girl energy. Everyone thinks they're girls. I don't know that anybody has said boy. Tate keeps saying girls. Last night he did say boys, but he is very excited. He's like, the babies, the babies, the babies, the babies, the babies. So I'm doing February. I will probably not go to February. I am going to push this. So this is where also I've been dying to tell you guys because I know that I have, like, twin moms in my community. I have to. And I have been dying to talk to you guys because I need stroller recommendations. I need to know how in the world you feed 2 babies at the same time. I need you to tell me everything. I need you to tell me about your labor and delivery. I need the details. I do not want a C-section. but I think I'm going to have a C-section. I am going to fight with my doctors about that and be like, listen, I, had a really positive, normal birth the first time. Why can't I do that again? So we're going to talk about that. But I need y'all to tell me everything. I need everything. So I'm finally ready. I'm so glad to share this with you now so you guys can tell me everything. Because I do think I know which stroller I want. But still, I need y'all to tell me everything. I have been on TikTok like it's my life's job to be on TikTok, trying to learn everything I can about having twins. I know my life's about to change. We also, you guys, I need car recommendations. We don't have a car that fits 3 car seats. We don't, because I didn't think we were going to have 3 car seats. Thomas and I always went back and forth about 2 or 3 kids. We were never completely sure. And the Lord said, here's your double portion. You were going to have 3 children. And I really have had so much peace this whole time about the twins, though, even though I know it's going to be crazy. My entire life's about to change. My entire life would have changed anyway with having a second baby, but it would not have changed as much. This is kind of what I have realized and been kind of grieving, but also just experiencing is when you have your first baby, you have no idea what to expect. You don't know what's coming. Your entire life is going to change. You have no idea. People can tell you, but you don't know till you've lived it. You don't know what it's like at 2 a.m. when you're trying to get your baby on your boob to nurse and it's not working and you're tired and exhausted and you haven't showered in days. Like, no one can prepare you for those things. No one can prepare you for the joy that comes with having your first baby and your life changing and the good days that you're going to have. Like, your whole life changes and you don't know what to expect and you don't know what's going to happen, but you're just like happy and excited and nervous and scared and all the things. You have your second baby, you know what to expect. You know what it's like to have one baby at home. You know what it's like to bring your baby from the hospital. You're not nearly as stressed. Your anxiety is a lot less. You still don't know what it's like to have 2 kids. You're like, okay, how am I going to go to the store? Okay, my toddler can walk. I can baby wear the second baby. Got it. Like, that's where your mind goes. It's like, okay, which double stroller? Okay, that one's good, but like not a big deal. You're like, okay, it's going to be harder to go to church, but it's fine. Like, the toddler can walk. I can baby wear. I can push one stroller. Toddler can walk. No big deal. You're really like, okay, I can figure this out. But when you find out you're having twins, I'm back at having the first baby again. That's how it feels. I'm back like, okay, I have no idea what to expect. I have no idea what my life is going to be like. I have no idea how I'm ever going to leave the house with 3 children. I have no idea how I'm going to physically carry 2 babies at one time. My last pregnancy my first pregnancy was really hard. It was really, really hard the entire 40 weeks. Like, I didn't have any relief in my second trimester. And so it was really hard the whole time. And so I'm like, okay, how am I going to do that? It's so high risk. Having twins is so high risk. How am I going to nurse 2 babies at the same time? How am I gonna, like, they show you the twin pillows. They show you how to do it. Like, how's my body gonna have enough milk? How am I gonna, like, lay one baby down? But, also, I have the toddler. So, like, am I ever gonna see him again? How am I gonna take care of my first child? So, everything is about to change, and I have no idea what to expect. So I have been grieving a little bit the peace that I guess I was expecting to have, that I may not get this time around. But it's okay. I've really gone through like different weeks. Like, one week I'm excited. The next week I'm stressed. The next week I'm really happy and dreaming and Pinteresting and like, yay. The next week I have an eye twitch. Like, I've had an eye twitch for the past week and a half, and it won't go away. So just thinking like, we have to buy a new car. We're eventually going to need a bigger house, which we were trying to buy a house. I don't even know if I probably didn't share any of this with you because it didn't happen, but we were trying to buy a house and that the timing is just not right now. So it didn't work. And so we're going to be in our rental again. And we're out of space. Like, where am I supposed to record this podcast? This podcast room is going to have to turn into a nursery. So, like, where am I going to do that? But I also need the guest bed because my mom is going to have to basically move in with me. Like, how am I, so much of my life is about to change. And I am so grateful. We truly, truly, truly have the best community around us. Like, when Tate was in the hospital, we were beyond taken care of. Like, more taken care of than what we should have been, honestly. Like, we really were. And I know part of that was also because I was pregnant. So what I failed to mention in last week's episode about my child being in the hospital was that I was pregnant through all of that with twins. So that added an extra layer to the hospital visit. But I know we're going to be taken care of. People at our church have twins. Like, they know what to do. They know the deal. And people at our church love babies. Like, it is truly like the most like kid welcomed space. Thomas can bring Tate to work at any point. Like, they have a child at work policy where you can bring your kid to work. Like, it's fantastic. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm really grateful for our community. They're going to take care of us. Our best friends are like, yep, these are our babies. Like, we're ready to take care of them. Like, they are ready to go. My mom has been like, yep, I'll come stay with you whenever I can. And I'll just kind of move in for a little bit bit if I need to, like no big deal. Like, it really is just like, we're going to do this. We're all going to be able to do this. When I told my mom, she literally could not pick her jaw up off the floor. I was FaceTiming her. I ended up being like, say something, Mom. Like, say something, say something. She was just like, not in a bad way at all. It was not negative. She was just so shocked. She like couldn't believe it. She was literally just like, what is happening? How are you having twins? Like, there's two of them. Like, she genuinely could not pick her jaw up off the floor. Thomas's family was like, yep, here it is, because like they all knew that twins was the possibility. So they were excited and, just over the moon. People were laughing. They're like, I can't believe it. When we told Caroline, because she was watching Tate while I was at the doctor's appointment. And so I did not I didn't want to tell my friends until I saw them. And so I told Caroline as soon as we got back at the office, and she literally fell to the ground. She could not believe it. So, it's really fun. I've gone through a big wave of emotions. Every moment changes with how I'm feeling about it. But for the most part, it's positive. It's going to be okay. And I need you guys to tell me everything. If you're a twin mom, I need you to tell me everything. I need to know, because this is so crazy. This is so crazy. I'm going to be at the doctor every 2 weeks until like 26 weeks. And then I think after that, I go every week. They said I'll deliver anywhere from like 32 to 37 probably. And 32 weeks is Christmas Eve. 32 weeks is Christmas Eve. And when was Tate born? Christmas Day. So we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I'm trying to go to 37. I would love to go to 40, maybe not 40, but I would love to go to 37. I really would love to go to 37. So I need you guys to be praying for us, praying for me. Tell me everything. I need you to tell me everything, but I need the prayers because this is crazy. And I'm just so glad that you know now, so we can chat about it and I can go back to recording videos. And, I was in the on death's door forever. And now I'm finally coming out of it a little bit and feeling like myself again. So I did experience some prenatal depression, I think, like I did last time. But I really do think mine is so connected to being so sick, because I have been so sick. I cannot talk about being sick anymore. I'm going to throw up. Anyways, so yeah, we're having twins. We're having twins. I'll tell you guys if they're girls or boys. I can't wait to find out. Probably won't tell the name until they're born. But just be praying for us. Keep us in your mind. It's shocking. It's actually shocking. The Lord really has taken care of us so much. So many people are praying for us. I feel the prayers. I'm praying for us every day. I'm praying for the babies. I cannot believe it's happening. Thomas is so excited. I really am mostly excited. I just go through waves of this is happening. Like, there was a lot of tears at first, just because I was like, am I even capable to do this? Can I do this? But twins is such a miracle that it's only from the Lord. It's only from the Lord. I mean, He made this happen. And because it's not very common, I'm like, the Lord chose me to be the mom to these two babies and be a mom to my 3 children. I can do this. Like, He can give me the strength and the power to do this. That is what I've been trying to remind myself and tell myself, is the Lord gave this to me on purpose. He didn't accidentally just be like, oh, here's an accident. Here, have twins. Like, that is not how that works. So every good and perfect gift comes from above, and I believe that. And I believe it, like, this is what the Lord wants for me. So I'm going to just trust in His plan, even though it's shocking and I can't believe it's happening. And I don't know what I'm going to do with 3 children. I'm not even 30. How can I have 3 children? I'm not even 30. Like, I am a teen mom. How am I supposed to have 3 children? That's really crazy. Like, what am I going to do? Show up in a minivan? In a minivan? Me? Like, I know that sounds judgy, but I've been looking at minivans and I just like, it's vain, you guys. I'm having a vain moment, I will admit. And I know that's a sin and the Lord will have to forgive me for it. But I'm like, I don't want a van. But does an SUV make sense to have 2 newborn car seats and a toddler seat? Like, you guys got to help me. So tell me everything. I'm so excited to share this news with you and to share all the fun things that are happening in our world with you. So I will be posting things other than baby content, I promise. But this is just what's happening in my life right now. So anyways, let me know what questions you have. I will answer them because I'm an open book. So it's been really fun to share this news with you. I'm so happy to finally share it. And yeah, we're having twins. Crazy. Identical. 2 boys or 2 girls. Who can say? Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me today, listening to this episode. I love you guys so, so much, and we will talk soon.